Fall is beautiful, isn't it? You go outside in the morning and there's just like this little chill in the air, and it's like, yes, you see the leaves changing, they're turning orange and burgundy and red. And you know, a girl loves a good fall wardrobe. So we break out the cardigans and the hoodies and the boots. But you also notice that your mood shifts. You start to feel a little bit more irritable. You feel like there's a heaviness on your chest. You go to work when it's dark, you come home when it's dark, and you just feel ugh, like ugh. And you're not just being dramatic. What you're feeling is real. So I want to first validate those feelings. And I also want to help you prepare now before the stuff changes and it's no longer getting dark at 7, it's getting dark at like 5 o'clock. In this episode, we are going to break down seasonal affective disorder. We're going to talk about what it is, the signs that you might be missing, the symptoms, and some things that you could possibly do to start preparing for it. Because one thing we know is summer will always turn to fall and fall will always turn to summer. And I want you to begin feeling like you have a toolbox for when those times come so that you're prepared. So let's talk a little bit about what seasonal affective disorder is. It is a clinical depression that's tied to the seasonal change, and it's more than just winter blues. You typically will find this happening during the fall or the early winter, and it disproportionately affects high achievers because when there's less sunlight, it starts to feel like there's less time for productivity, which comes with shame because for some reason we equate the sun is out, I have more time to do things, and when it shortens, it's like I feel like I have to rush, I feel like I have to like produce more, which isn't necessarily the truth. The reason why we as Black women tend to miss the signs is because we're expected to be strong regardless of the season. So whether it's summer, spring, fall, or winter, we are expected to produce the exact same way. The message that we are given is that we are supposed to move in the very same way. The symptoms that we feel, sometimes we look at it as being lazy or that you're weak. I hear the word lazy a lot. Why can't I just get this done? Why am I struggling to get out of bed? Why am I having a lack of motivation? Well, there's a reason behind it. And there's also less of an awareness in Black communities. I do think that SAD, which is what it's coined, is becoming a bit more mainstream and people are having more conversations about it. But I do feel there is less awareness, which is another reason why I'm creating this video. We already carry a heavy mental load. And so it can get really hard to tell, is this just my normal load that I'm carrying because I have a lot of plates, a lot of irons in the fire? Or is it there's actually really something going on with me that I need support with? Now let's talk a little bit about these symptoms that you've probably felt before and you've dismissed. So there's increased fatigue. So no matter how much sleep you're getting, you wake up in the morning and you just still feel like you didn't get enough rest, which then you have difficulty getting out of bed. So you just feel, it just feels heavy. And I know what you know. I know you know what I mean when I say it just feels heavy. You just feel heavier than usual. It just feels, ugh. You find yourself craving more carbs, more comfort foods, things that are a little bit more heavier. You begin withdrawing from social activities. Nah, I'm good. I'm not coming outside. I'm going to sit at home in bed rot. You find it a little harder to focus and be productive. That motivation is waning. The discipline is kind of going far left. And everything just feels harder than it should. It's like, I know a month ago I was able to knock this out and I don't feel like I can do it. And then you're losing the interest in things that you usually enjoy. It's just like, nah, I don't need a brunch. Nah, I don't need to go on that trip. No, I don't need to go to that festival. Preparation matters because I want you to be proactive and not reactive. A lot of times when we start feeling these things in us, like the heaviness or the hardness, we just keep pushing through. It's like, oh, it's fine. I'm just going to keep pushing. I'm just going to keep going. And Then we wait till it gets really, really bad. And then you're coming into my office and we're trying to problem solve. And I want you to have the tools to be reactive. It's easier to prevent the spiral than to climb out of the spiral. Once you're in the hole of seasonal affective disorder, it is like you are clawing for your life all season to get out of it until it's something about when that spring equinox hits and it's like, oh, it's spring and the flowers are coming out and the pollen is coming out. You seem to come out of the fog. I kind of look at it as when the princess is coming out of her sleep when she's been kissed and it's like, oh, where have I been? You've been in a bubble. Welcome to life, right? You can't tough this out. There is no toughing it out or thinking positive to get out of sad. You need the support. And so some things I want you to start thinking about implementing into your routine or your day to day. A light box. So light therapy box. You can get them on Amazon or wherever you want to go, 20, 30 minutes every day. It is a light that will simulate the sun and it can help with your mood. Vitamin D supplementation that you want to go have a conversation with your doctor about. Most Black women are deficient in vitamin D. So that is going to help prep your mood and boost you up a little bit during this season, especially with the sun not being so available as it is during the summer. Your morning routine, you want to add a little bit more natural light exposure. So you want to open your windows, you want to step outside, take your coffee or your tea outside, get a little chill to you. Continue to maintain your exercise routine even when you don't want to. Okay. Even when you don't want to, find some way to exercise and move your body. Go ahead and schedule those social commitments in advance and put them on your calendar. So if you're in a better mood right now, you're more inclined to say, absolutely, I'll be there. And then work to keep those commitments so that you're not isolated and in hermit mode. You still want to socialize with people that care about you and love you. And then do your therapy check-ins. A lot of times clients, I already know, come about April or May that our sessions are going to be a bit more maintenance. So I meet with my clients once a month. But right now, we have already started closing the gap and going back to meeting every other week. And so maybe you need to go ahead and say, hey, I need to be put on the calendar. Let's go ahead and do these re-ups because maintenance is not going to work for me during these times. And just think about your environment. Think about the space that you're in, whether you are at home and work from home or whether you're in your office. Brighten your spaces. Get some light in. I have a very big window. I don't like the light on in my office because it's just so bright. I don't like the fluorescent light. I like the light to come through my window. And so there may be times where I got to cut the light on or I need to invest in a different light because it just is not going to be light outside. But brighten your spaces. Open the curtains, open the blinds during the daylight hours so that you can get a little bit peek at the sun. Reduce your clutter, okay? Depression makes everything harder. And when you look around at your space and see that it's cluttered, it is very well indication of what's going on in your mind. And so if you can free some space and free some clutter, you will feel a lot better on the inside. And then create cozy spaces that invite rest, not isolation. So for instance, for me, I have this little corner with it's a nice little comfy chair that I have over here, and it's got pillows, and I go over there and I cuddle up and I may watch TV or I may talk to my partner or I'll read a book or I might scroll on Instagram or something like that. I'm a scroller from time to time, but that's just my cozy area. It's not the same as going to get in my bed and curl up in a ball and throw all the blankets on me and just be there, as they say, bed rotting. It's very different. I'm not isolating in that way. When it comes to your mental and your emotional prep, lower your expectations during the winter months. All the ripping and running and the extra energy that you feel during the spring and the summer, you may not be able to produce at that level during the fall and the winter, and that's absolutely okay. It's fine. Think about planning pleasure deposits. So, you go to the bank and you deposit your money. Find pleasure deposits, things to look forward to. Maybe it's going to the pumpkin patch with your friends. Maybe it's going to drive around and look at lights during Christmas time, or These festivals are actually very fun. They still have good food, good entertainment. So maybe you go to a festival. Communicate with your partner and your family about what you need. Be able to tell them what it is that you need to help you get through this moment. Are there things that need to come off of your plate? Are there different tasks or different chores that you need to switch up on? Communicate what you need. Do you need your family to take the kids sometime so that you can have some time with your partner? Do you need to go spend time with your family a little bit more? Let them know. Give yourself permission to slow down. And if this feels a little hard for you and you're not sure the difference between, like, I'm just really, really going hard and I'm really feeling bad, track your mood. The awareness is going to help you, A, see that you do have a mood shift, and B, know when exactly that mood shift happens, because maybe there is a specific time of the day that you need to place your pleasure deposits. Let's talk about when to get professional help, when you need to come over to Javery Integrative Wellness Services to get the support to help you get through it. If your symptoms are lasting more than 2 weeks, you may want to think about getting a bit of additional support. If you're having thoughts of self-harm, if you can't function at home or at work, just like your day to day, you just cannot do it. If you know that previous winters were really hard and some of the things that I had already talked about, you already deal with, then go ahead and get on the books. If you want to come to us, go ahead and go to javerywellness.com/get-started. We are taking new clients. Do not wait until you're in a crisis. Again, it is so much harder to get out of the hole when you're already there, opposed to knowing this is what I feel around this season all the time. Let me go ahead and get in there now and get the support. We provide therapy during seasonal transitions, during the good times, during the bad times. We're always going to be here to support you. And if at some point you decide that medication management is something that needs to be added to the support system, we have referrals to the physicians that we trust and have vetted to be able to support you with that as needed. And it's definitely going to be a conversation. You never have to do anything that you don't feel comfortable doing. We also provide the accountability and the check-ins. And we, as Black women, understand what you're going through. So not only are you getting a team of clinicians that are clinical and we have the letters, but this is also our lived experience. This is something that we also deal with as well, of being high achievers and being perfectionists and struggling with having a lot of things on our plate and learning how to choose ourselves. We go through the same transitions as well as you. So we understand from a clinical therapeutic place as well as an experience place, because that just is who we are. Here's the reality of it. Seasonal affective disorder is not a character flaw. It's just something that happens when the season changes. It triggers something within you. As a high achiever, you're not immune from seasonal depression. This isn't going to just skip over you. And preparing doesn't mean you're weak. It actually means that you're wise. It actually means that you're responsible. Winter is survival season, and we just adjust expectations accordingly. We do what we need to do to get through it, because it will come and it will go. So I hope that you got something out of this video. If you didn't know about seasonal affective disorder, or you feel like some of these things are kind of like in your realm, like, yeah, I have actually felt those things before and I never thought that it was something I needed to get support with. I hope that you take one of these. Actually, I would love for you to tell me in the comments what proactive step that you plan on taking while we still have a little bit of time, especially if you're here in Georgia. The weather is getting ready to change, but I hope that, we've given you something and you can drop it in the comments and let us know what you're going to do to be proactive. If you enjoyed this video, please like and please subscribe so that you get more value and I can give you more tips and tricks on how to maintain a lifestyle as a high achieving Black woman that focuses on pleasure, self-care, and rest. And I will talk to you and see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.